you're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Farhana Sheikh. The Royal Addendum Order allowing Datuk Sri Najib Razak to serve the remainder of his jail sentence under house arrest was never hidden by the government. Communications Minister Fahmi says he was never informed or received such a document.
Saya sendiri sebagai Menteri Komunikasi tidak ada menerima, melihat ataupun dimaklumkan tentang dokumen tersebut. Ya, dan saya percaya perkara ini oleh sebab ia melibatkan lembaga pengampunan, dan kita juga ambil maklum bahawa Mahkamah Rayuan telah memutuskan supaya kes ini diremit semula ke Mahkamah Tinggi. Maka kita perlu mengambil pandangan dan nasihat dari Peguam Negara tentang beberapa perkara yang tidak akan memprejudiskan perjalanan kes tersebut.
Najib's lawyer, Tan Sri Shafi Abdullah, confirmed an addendum from the former king, verified by the Pahang royal household. This sparked accusations that the government was concealing the addendum. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail denied receiving any directive on house arrest, stating his ministry only received the Pardons Board minutes and the order reducing Najib's sentence, neither of which mentioned house arrest.
Chief Justice Tun Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat firmly believes that the judiciary under her leadership has made the correct decisions based on the law and facts. She says this was carried out regardless of the heated political sentiments that plagued some of the cases before the court. In her final speech as Chief Justice at the opening of the legal year 2025, Tengku Maimun says her 6-year tenure has coincided with 4 different prime ministers from different political affiliations, which should dispel any notions that she had ever been partial to any particular person or party. Tengku Maimun will go on mandatory retirement upon turning 66 in July this year. However, she can remain in office for another 6 months if the Yang di-Pertuan Agong grants an extension of her tenure. She said that following her appointment as the first female Chief Justice of Malaysia, she was determined to fulfill her oath of office in ensuring the Constitution reigns supreme. Tengku Maimun added that she is looking forward to retirement, believing that she would get to leave the judiciary in a better place than when she and her colleagues had led it. Malaysians will need an electronic travel authorization to enter the UK starting today. Applications cost £10 or around 60 ringgit and will be valid for up to 2 years, allowing multiple entries. According to the British High Commission in Kuala Lumpur, applications must be submitted online or through the UK ETA application. The new rule, introduced to enhance border security, applies to short visits of less than 6 months for purposes such as tourism, business, short-term studies, and permitted paid engagements. Malaysia is among a list of 48 countries subject to this rule, including the US, Australia, Japan, South Korea, and Singapore. EU citizens, however, would only require an ETA to enter the UK from April 2nd, while residents already living in the UK are exempt from the requirement. Malaysia reported a total of 327 cases of HMPV in 2024, a 40% rise from the year prior. Despite the increase, molecular virologist Dr. Vinod Balasubramaniam reassures the public that HMPV is a common seasonal virus, usually causing mild to moderate symptoms.
Human metapneumovirus, or HMPV, is basically a respiratory virus, but it's not a new virus, first identified in 2001. Okay, belongs to the Pneumoviridae family, closely related to another respiratory viruses, which is called a respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, which is very common, right? And this HMPV is very common among infants, young children, and also those who have problems with their immune system. Someone who's elderly, someone who's immunocompromised, and they are seasonal and they have been circulating for some time. It's not something which is new, right? Similar to other respiratory viruses, right? They also spread primarily through direct contact with infectious secretions such as saliva, respiratory droplets when someone coughs or sneezes.
Unlike COVID-19, Dr. Vinod said HMPV is less transmissible and that adequate measures are in place to manage the disease.
I get where the fear is coming from. Generally, when something's brewing in China and everybody, gets worked out, everybody's scared. Can this be the new COVID? Simply because it's respiratory and it has similar symptoms. But one thing that we should know that this is not a new virus. It has been circulating for some time. And, unlike COVID's high transmissibility, this virus doesn't possess, that range of transmissibility. And I think adequate measures are already in place. And we just have to follow them, similar to what we did with COVID, particularly with your hand hygiene, your cough, your sneezing etiquettes, if you are, if you're ill, stay at home, make sure you don't, spread it to others, While there are no vaccines for this virus, we have adequate measures to manage it. And from what we have seen so far, the symptoms are generally mild to moderate, unlike COVID-19.
Vietnam and Thailand are working together to transform regional tourism through the 6-country, 1 destination initiative with the aim to simplify visa and travel arrangement. The 6 countries proposed for this tourism network are Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Malaysia.
At a meeting in Hanoi on January 3rd, Taiwanese and Vietnamese officials discussed a potential shared visa system that would let tourists among participating nations explore multiple ASEAN countries seamlessly. The initiative also proposes fast-track immigration lanes, stronger business networks, and joint marketing campaigns to position the region as a unified destination. With this approach, the plan expects not only to boost regional tourism, but also to attract visitors from key markets like the US, Europe, and South Asia.
Singapore has tabled a law to consolidate and strengthen the government's powers to maintain racial harmony in Singapore. The Maintenance of Racial Harmony Bill comprises a slew of measures, including restraining orders and safeguards against foreign influence.
Race-based entities would be designated and subject to measures to curb foreign influence, such as disclosing their foreign affiliations, donations, and leadership details. If passed, over 300 entities could be designated under these measures, according to preliminary estimation by the Ministry of Home Affairs. The bill empowers the Home Affairs Minister to issue restraining orders against a person or an entity that produces or distributes content harmful to racial harmony, and introduces a new Presidential Council for Racial and Religious Harmony. It would also introduce a community remedial initiative to address minor offences under which the Home Affairs Minister may establish programs for offending parties to make amends for their racist conduct.
We will go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Rambut gugur lagi? Macam mana Gunakan Pantene Baharu dengan provitamin mikro yang meresap dan menguatkan rambut dari dalam. Rambut 10 kali lebih kuat terhadap rambut gugur. Pantene Baharu.
Ini adalah
Inovator! Pelbagai inovasi yang mengujakan.
Terhasil daripada lendir siput babi.
Posture Manager! Wow! The product is amazing.
nak cepat kan nak lambat?
The guy is really well prepared.
Hanya ada di Malaysia sahaja.
Kedaulatan negara, tanggungjawab bersama.
Inovator 1-9 malam eksklusif di Astro dan Astro Go.
Kerap menggaru kulit kepala disebabkan kelumur, masalahnya lebih mendalam. Gunalah Head and Shoulders menembusi 5 lapisan untuk membasmi kelumur dan kegatalan. Bebas kelumur sehingga 100%. Head and Shoulders diuji secara dermatologi.
Welcome back. The death toll from the powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake that hit Tibet on Tuesday has now climbed to at least 126, with 188 people injured. Rescue teams have managed to free over 400 people trapped by debris, but authorities say hundreds remain missing.
More than 3,600 homes have been damaged, with entire villages wiped out. The hardest hit areas are nestled in the Himalayan valleys, where more than 30,000 people have been relocated. Efforts to provide emergency supplies are ongoing, with tents, blankets, and food being rushed to the region. However, the situation is worsened by freezing temperatures, with lows expected to drop below negative 18 degrees Celsius. More than 500 aftershocks were recorded since the initial quake. Authorities have dispatched more than 1,600 soldiers, military drones, and helicopters to assist with the recovery. While Shigatse, the region's major city, has largely been spared, the situation remains critical in remote villages.
Over in the U.S., a state of emergency has been declared in Los Angeles as a massive wildfire fueled by extreme winds sweeps through the region. More than 30,000 residents have been ordered to evacuate, with 13,000 buildings currently under threat. The fire, which broke out on Tuesday evening, rapidly grew from 10 acres to 2,900 acres within hours. Dramatic footage shows houses engulfed in flames in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood, an area home to numerous A-list celebrities. Firefighters battling the blaze warn they are running out of water and supplies as evacuation orders extend to Malibu and Calabasas. Several Hollywood events have also been cancelled in response to the fires, including the premieres of movies Wolfman and Unstoppable. Officials describe the fires as the most damaging since 2011, warning that conditions are expected to worsen throughout the day. In other news, South Korean authorities have extended a warrant to detain impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol for questioning over his surprise declaration of martial law last month. A Seoul court reissued the warrant on Tuesday, hours after it expired at midnight on Monday, following a request from the Corruption Investigation Office CIO. Investigators had attempted to detain Yoon on Friday, but retreated after a tense standoff at the presidential compound. Meanwhile, protests both supporting and opposing Yoon continued on today at the compound, with demonstrators braving freezing temperatures near the fortified area. The Presidential Security Service has barricaded the compound with buses and barbed wire as Yoon continues to defy summons for questioning. Yoon faces multiple investigations tied to his short-lived martial law order on December 3rd, including insurrection charges that carry penalties of life imprisonment or even the death penalty. One of Yoon's lawyers argued the arrest warrant was invalid, citing jurisdictional issues. Despite this, the CIO, working with police and the Defense Ministry, said it is pressing ahead with plans to enforce the warrant and vowed to make more robust efforts to detain Yoon. A Chinese actor who disappeared near the Thai-Myanmar border last week has been found in Myanmar. Thai authorities suspect that the 22-year-old was a victim of human trafficking. Wang Sing was reported missing in northern Thailand's Tak province bordering Myanmar, an area notorious for large-scale criminal enterprises and human trafficking. Thai National Police Inspector General Thatchai Pitanelabut said Wang was told there was a casting in Thailand, but instead was trained to scam other Chinese people. Wang has since been brought back to Thailand. The United Nations has warned that Southeast Asia's border regions are hotspots for telecom and online fraud, with countless individuals trafficked into scam operations. That wraps up AWANI tonight. Check out our web portal, keeping you informed on the critical events shaping our world, all in one place at international.astroawani.com. That's all for now. I'm Farhana Sheikh. Thank you for watching and good night.